Hello, hello, and welcome to the new Super Mario Bros. Wii Any Percent Tournament of 2022. Today, and right now, we will be having the match of Nexlation and Cruncho. Not a lot separates these two runners, so honestly, this race could go either way. Just have to see. So let's get the bot here. So both runners are just practicing World 8 right now, especially if you're on good pace. Being in World 8 is pretty stressful, so it's definitely pretty useful to practice it. So, Nexlation reset. They're ready to start the run. Cruncho will do the same here momentarily.
Here we go.
I apologize if my mic is a little loud. I'm getting used to it. I got it pretty recently. So anyway, the timing will start on the first input on the overworld map, so it's the right press in order to go to 1-1. Then timing will end when touching the switch in Bowser's Castle. And this is a best of 3, so you get 1 run, that's good, but you have to get at least 2 to win. And because only about 45 seconds separate these two runners, this could go either way. Or there's also the chance that we could see a PB from either runner. Possibility. And they're off. The streams aren't perfectly synced, but that's fine. We will have the SpeedGaming staff take care of that. So, 1-1 is the first level. Nothing particularly of note. The big thing is the wall here, right before the checkpoint. It's a bit tricky to get over quickly, but as you can see, both runners nail it. Both runners will be grabbing the propeller suit. This is extremely useful throughout the entire run, particularly in levels like F Tower, which is a vertical level, and the power-up provides is insanely useful. And a 5-4, where if neither of them get hit, then we'll see them perform a skip. Cruncho went for a much harder strategy to get the propeller suit. Unfortunately, he failed it and lost a couple seconds, but not a big deal. It's only the first of 13 levels in the run, and Fun 1 is far from the biggest separator. It can be made up later. 2 seconds is not that big of a lead. Fun 2 is an interesting level because of all the different strats you can take, especially in the first half. And it's another thing is it just sucks to mess up in a run because it's the second level in a run. Messing up that early makes you want to reset. It's a feeling every runner of this game knows all too well. Both runners messed it up. Nexlation only lost about a second, and Pierce Cruncho lost somewhere around 4 or 3 seconds. Again, not that much.
Let's go.
1-3 is probably the simplest level in the run, in my opinion. The triple jump there at the start is intentional. It's not just to look cool. It's basically a safeguard in case the Hammer Bro decides to jump up, then you'll bounce on him and you won't take damage. And we will be taking the secret exit in this level to go to World 5. In World 5, we will take the secret exit in the Ghost House to go to World 8, where we will finish the run from there.
This way.
World 1 is far from the most interesting thing in the speedrun, but it holds a bit more weight in races because messing up early, it does cost you some time. Important to minimize how much you lose in the early game, but it's not necessary because, again, the late game is just a lot more. There's a lot more that could happen. Put it that way. Thing neither of these runners wants to happen is getting hit because past a roulette block in 5-3, there are no easy and fast ways to reacquire the propeller suit, so it really stings when you get hit. So Nexlation completes World 1 in about 4 minutes, and Cruncho about 6 seconds behind. If one of them gets hit, that will cost them. 5-1 is where the run starts to get a bit more interesting, in my opinion at least. One of the first things you'll see is that both be getting a star from the roulette block, and just as Nexlation messed up the setup there, if Cruncho gets it. Cruncho gets it. To me, the missed star grab from Nexlation looked like a mistake, and the star is helpful and makes the level easier, but it only costs a couple seconds. It's nothing major. Another thing you'll see is both of them skipping the use of the rotating platform. Unfortunately, Cruncho getting hit there, that's not good. So he's going to... Backup is to try and get a really high jump out of the water, like he just did there. Very, very sketchy backup from that vine. You do not want to get hit by that Koopa. He would have died, which would have costed a lot. So, Nexlation will be taking a pretty comfortable lead here. And in any percent, the encounter with this piranha plant is unavoidable. Unfortunately, we do have to take the 20 seconds or so it takes to fight. And I apologize if it sounds like I'm cutting out, because my internet isn't the greatest, but it works. It's stable as of right now. So, the forking path here between 5-2 and 5-3. 5-3 is between 2 and 4 seconds faster. It depends on what strats you go for. There is a backup propeller there, but is what most runners would consider to be the harder level of the two. Both runners opting to do 5-3. Most people around their personal best is in the mid-25s. That's usually when you'll see them go for 5-3. So, nothing out of the ordinary for Nexlation at all. So, if Cruncho gets the setup right, and he does, awesome. He gets the propeller back with not that much time lost. So, he might be down quite a bit here, but he's still in it. Knows his backups. Always know your backups. Very, very important in a game like this.
It's a go time.
Cruncho's personal best is a 26-12, I believe, and most people in that skill range don't know how to do 5-3. Most people don't. Some do. Just playing it safe there, which I don't blame them at all. Surviving is definitely more important. In 5 Tower here, you can see the use of the propeller. Scale this very quickly. Helps out a lot. So, Nexlation did not attempt the fastest known cycle, which we refer to as 556, because if you get the fast cycle and enter the door, your time on the in-game timer at the top right will say 556. As Nexlation didn't go for it, so he has 546 on the timer. The fast cycle saves about 8 seconds if you do it well. While the Cruncho probably won't be going for it either. See though. Yeah, just not going for it. So don't blame him. The Nexlation exits 5 Tower, and we'll be heading on to 5-4. Now, Nexlation has an option here. He can choose to save the game, which is a safeguard in case die attempting to complete 5-4. If you die and then reload the file, because you saved, you'll be right where you left off. And so Nexlation will be saving. I don't blame them for making that decision. It only loses like 2 or 3 seconds. As 5-4 skip under pressure is nerve-wracking. Bruce intended you to ride this platform on top of, I assume, is poison. Entirely sure what it is. And with all the wall kicks and enemies, pretty stressful. And one mistake can lead to your death. That's why you've seen a lot of runners in this tournament choose to save there. They'll take the 2 seconds. It means they'll lose less if they die. So Cruncho opting not to save. He wants to get every little second he can here, because he's down by about a minute. But a smooth 5-4 from Nexlation. Nothing crazy. We're making it to pass now. And as we see Cruncho doing 5-4 here. Fortunately, there are no Goombas up there, just mini Goombas you can shake off with the Wii Remote. Scary when that stuff happens, but you know the layout of the level well enough, then you can traverse it. Cruncho also gets 5-5 or 5-4 skip, excuse me. Ooh. A little scary there from Nexlation. If they didn't spin there, or the motion controls malfunctioned, then that would have led to their death. Would have been pretty unfortunate, but save. Another thing about the Ghost House is Nexlation did not attempt a strat where you jump through the boo ring. Instead, as you can see, they waited for it once they got about halfway up the staircase. The jump through the boo ring saves, I want to say, 2 seconds. And it's a strat you see all the time at Nexlation's level, but again, I don't blame them in the least for attempting it. Ooh. Scary situation from Cruncho. He failed to the light switch, so he couldn't see where the light blocks were. He had to kind of improvise there. Despite some of the earlier mistakes, Nexlation actually has an okay shot at PBing. It's not guaranteed. You still have to play pretty well, PB, but it's not out of the question. Definitely not out of the question. Eight 1 is the second easiest level in World 8. The grabbing of the shell there, nice little find. If you throw that shell, you can gain speed faster because once you shake the Wii remote, Mario will be in this small, like, falling state where he'll, like, twirl, and it's unbearably slow, so throwing that shell cancels it. And that sketchy looking triple jump, that is not a damage boost. That is just a product of how poorly the geyser's hitbox is. It's pretty scary once you first learn it, but if you're practiced enough, it's nothing. It is kinda tight though, especially when you're first learning it. And Cruncho also using the shell there. Very nice. Taking damage in 8-1 isn't as bad now that the main time saves are over. The backup here is to grab a fire flower, this Cruncho will do, and you will damage boost twice. The meteors had other plans. That wasn't Cruncho's fault. Sucks when that happens, because if you get hit, you're up to the mercy of the meteors, whether or not you can get, yeah. The meteors were bad enough that the next geyser came up. Not a whole lot Cruncho can do about that, except just keep going. Periodically, throughout this level, you'll see Nexlation, especially in the last room, do... ooh. More importantly, Nexlation nearly died there, attempting one of the fastest known ways to grab that star. But that was a crouch jump there. Crouch jumps, if you do them on a rolling hill, and you let go of crouch partway through your jump, you will resume running speed for a reason that isn't known to me, but probably someone else. And if you do it right, it is faster. Throughout the entire level, it saves at least a second. And, saw it out of the corner of my eye. I believe Cruncho grabbed a mushroom for safety, which I don't blame Cruncho for at all. Taking one hit here leads to an instant death, and that loses you a lot of time. Ooh. Missed ground pound there. Cruncho pressed down, but the game said no. I mean, that star grab works, you know? For improvising, that wasn't bad. It's a nice crouch boost there. You got like a really good one off of that first hill. Meanwhile, 7, it's basically an auto-scroller. Unlike 5-4, there's no known way in any percent to skip it, so just have to wait it. I find it kind of fun, honestly. It's, especially if you're on PB pace, it's a nice little way to kill nerves. It's not just an auto-scroller, because how you dismount the coasters can actually save or lose you a lot of time. Bad dismounts versus good dismounts can cost you in the order of like 2 seconds alone. For a so-called auto-scroller, that's pretty big. This has to be one of my favorite songs in the game, I'm being honest. The bass is what does it for me, it's so smooth. Another thing that can lose you time in this level, as Cruncho demonstrated, was how you handle the wall kicks, transitioning between those coasters. It's minor, but it can cost you time if you're not careful. For example, Billy's former world record messes up one of those wall kicks. It's pretty important. So, another thing I should mention, that cutscene you just saw Nexlation watch, because they are playing in the 4:3 aspect ratio, because of just... Wait, no, never mind, Nexlation isn't 4:3, my bad. Ignore everything I just said. But, more importantly, we are reacquiring the propeller suit, because various corkscrews that you have to spin to lower platforms. It's the kind of gimmick with this level. A level which fortunately has easy backup propellers. Nexlation gets one with little issue. And you can use propeller to skip all of the corkscrews except the very first and the very last one, which are just giant walls. Others you can skip with propeller. Nexlation might opt out of one or two of them because of the risk. This first one's pretty easy. Second one's a bit tight, but it's no issue if you're a practiced runner. We might see Cruncho opt out of a skip as well, but we'll see what happens. This is the scary skip right here. Nice! That was a nice skip. Partly what makes that skip scary is if you're not high enough, you have to wall kick. Because the wall kick is near a semi-solid platform, sometimes the game just doesn't like you wall kicking near those. Also, if you spin too early, you're likely to get hit by that Mecha Koopa, which is pretty bad. As I should have mentioned earlier, supposed to ground pound the floor to send bombs up to Bowser Jr., but you can skip waiting for each bomb by trying to go up there. This Nexlation is trying to demonstrate, and hit Bowser Jr. by ground pounding at a really precise time. It is a 1 or 2 frame window. It depends where you are in Bowser Jr.'s cycle. You get to the nitty-gritty of it. This fight is pretty complicated. The Nexlation did have to use all 3 bombs, unfortunately, and also flubbed up when trying to get the second bomb up there. Oh wow. Cruncho went for that last skip I said was risky, nearly missing it. Oh my gosh, that was insane. When he jumped there, I genuinely thought Cruncho was dead, and despite taking the hit there, Cruncho's still okay. Taking a hit there is way better than taking a death. Yeah. As Nexlation mentioned in chats, there are fake hits where it looks like you're gonna hit him, but you were just a few frames too early or too late, so you get a fake. And Bombless is getting it's what we refer to as getting a hit without a bomb, Bombless. Getting a hit without the propeller is so much harder that it's not even worth it. So, if you don't have Propeller by that point, you might as well just consider yourself doing the fight casually. Nexlation is in 8 Castle now. The first room isn't hard. It's a bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing, but it's a fairly stressful level, I'll give it that. Music doesn't help, especially in the final fight with the various what's the word? With like the organ in the final fight music, like holy crap. Being on PB pace into the final boss fight is insanely stressful. And everything out here is out to hit you, so not going in here with Propeller isn't the end of the world, but it is a bit worse, especially if you don't know your backups. I'm not sure if Cruncho is aware of Volzavault. As you can see at the laughably easy Bowser fight, Nexlation can just spin over, but as I'm sure some of you have figured out, that's not possible with Small Mario, so Volzavault is a bit different. I'll get to it when Cruncho gets there. And Cruncho opting to take that safe. There is a strat where you can jump and then get to the last bone platform in that room without having to wait, but it is insanely risky and does not save very much. So the final fight, this is the stressful part I was talking about. In any percent, under normal circumstances, you have to aim 7 fireballs at the wall. If you don't lead a fireball exactly where the other one went, as Nexlation unfortunately did, missing 1 fireball isn't bad, but missing 2 or 3 or 4 is catastrophic. Loses so much time. Yeah, and Nexlation missed a lot of fireballs, so pretty sketchy. Makes it through, however. The final with all the platforms, pretty tricky maneuvering. Having Propeller here is such a huge benefit because, as you can see, Cruncho had to wait a bit there, but Nexlation winning the first match with a 25-50. Nice. Only 8-19 seconds off of your personal best, if I recall correctly. It was PB pace until you got hit in 8A. I wanted to say something about that, but I wasn't going to say anything more because probably would have made you more nervous. But Cruncho not terribly far behind. See how his fireballs go. Is initially Bowser files that first volley of 3, and then another volley of 3. First volley looked good. Ooh, this volley's pretty sketchy, but it might work. That fireball's gonna miss. I mean, it works. It's not the end of the world, but overall better fireballs than Cruncho, or Nexlation, than me. Is that very, very conveniently placed propeller suit, in case you're not Propeller Mario by this point. And this is the hard part about the platform section of the escape sequence, as the runners call it. If you make one mistake and one part doesn't go according to plan, all the other platforms are messed up, and you have to compensate for it in very awkward situations. And I believe that was a 2739, if I recall correctly. So, anyways, a pretty decent showing from the first two runners, honestly. I don't think either runner died, which is pretty cool, if I'm gonna be honest. Because it's really mentally tough to, like, finish races where you died 5 times and you're gonna miss your PB by like 10 minutes. Cruncho only missed his PB by 1.5 minutes, and Nexlation, my pronunciation, apologies. Nexlation was only off by 20 seconds. So, pretty good first round. Remember to hydrate, chat. My voice is getting pretty tired. And both of them are getting ready for the second match.
Let's play.
These runners seem like they're pretty good to go. They'll be starting the race second round momentarily. And for this next run, I'll try and cover things I missed before. So, are they in a race room? I'll check the tournament server to see if they have one set up. It's always a nice place to look if that happens. Question has been answered. They've started. And they're all synced now and ready to start run 2. So, like I mentioned earlier, this race could go either way. All depends on who has the better consistency, and Cruncho opting not to go for the propeller strat that he did last time. Doubt for him. As I'm sure you've noticed they slide down slopes. For gentle slopes, that does save time, and sliding down one slope isn't significant, but across the run, it definitely saves multiple seconds. I'm looking at the restream from within Discord. The stream is delayed enough so my commentary can be synced with it. That's why I didn't see you guys starting. Apologies. 2 again. One strat I failed to mention the first time is sliding down of gentle slopes, as my very, very good English grammar puts it. Ideally, you want to tilt the platforms with the motion controls, like, so you get the gentlest slope possible, as Nexlation demonstrates there. Apologize for adding the extra A in there. It's just my natural way of saying it. It might not seem like that does a lot, but like I said earlier, it adds up. Compared to Cruncho here, Nexlation pretty much has already gained 2 seconds, primarily because of better execution overall. They're going through 1 of 3 here. Closer together than they were last time. Happens. The mistake that Cruncho made there, it happens. It's not the mistake that matters, it's how you back it up. I was going to say how close they were earlier, but commentator's curse is real, I guess. They're separated by about 7 seconds right now. Excuse me. Pushing 2 during the cutscene where Toad talks to you and gives you the letter from Bowser Jr. is actually faster. And funnily enough, so is mashing during that loading screen there. If you press 2 repeatedly during fade-in cutscenes to cannons and star houses, it actually saves about a second. Which is a really weird way to save time, but we have to do what we can to save every little frame, right? Just the nature of speedrunning. Nexlation getting the star grab. Improvement from last run. Cruncho nailing it as well. If you noticed from the last run, Nexlation had to do a bunch of awkward movement to avoid the walking piranha plants, but Star makes you breeze through it like it's nothing. Cruncho also not getting hit where he did last time. Another win. Step on the last bit there, but his backup was pretty decent. So it only lost him 2 seconds. Nothing huge. That strap to grab the first bubble, like Nexlation did, looks hard. All that's being done is you get a running start on the orange platform at the top, and then you let go of run as you start to walk off the platform. It sets you up basically perfectly to grab that bubble every time. Now that Cruncho has Propeller, is he going to do 5-2 because he already has it? He is. So he's going to lose probably about 2 or 3 seconds compared to Nexlation if they don't mess up 5-3. And this is the first time you get to see 5-2 during this match. The sloppy start to 5-2, but not a big deal, like I said earlier. The main reason 5-3 most people find harder is just all the brambles. Hitboxes are super weird. You can get hit in ways that don't make sense, especially if you're not careful. Like how you maneuver around them. Or press down right before you fall off. That works too. It's just the way I'm used to doing it. It's the same idea. You do a slowdown right after you about to walk off the platform. So, will we see either of these runners attempt the fastest cycle? It's someone that has a personal best around Nexlation's level. Fast cycle 556 is pretty tight. So let's see what they go for. It doesn't appear that Nexlation's attempting it, which is fine. If a comfortable lead anyway, so it's like I risk it. Especially if you're not experienced with hitting it on good pace. Pretty easy to get hit by one of the spikes by going too fast or getting crushed by the spikes at the end because we're barely too slow. Strategy that's very, very frustrating to learn. The learning curve is worth the 8 seconds at the end. Both runners have managed to keep Propeller to this point, and that's good. It's way closer than the last race was. So I did not look at the fade out, but I did see when Iggy hopped into the castle. So 12, 13, 14, about 15 seconds. Way smaller of a margin than the minute that separated them last time. Nexlation opting to save the game because yeah, safer. Both of them, actually. So it appears that both of them have lost the game of chicken. Either of them for the head-on collision. They both veered the other way. Sketchy backup. Oh wow. That is a bit of a sticky situation for Nexlation there. As far as I know, how the enemies work is they can't damage you when you're up on the conveyor belt. The reason you see them basically go out of bounds is it's not really out of bounds. It's just a conveyor belt that off camera. Enemies spawn on that conveyor belt and then they drop. And that's why this part you just see enemies randomly dropping from the sky. It appears to me what happened is that Nexlation was slow enough because of the backup that the enemies managed to spawn in and hit them as soon as got up there. So that's Cruncho's gonna take the lead here because X is just waiting out the boat. Slower by about a little under a minute and a half. Unfortunate. Didn't seem risky, but that's just how it played out. And the save came in handy. The save file can be reloaded instantly here. I can give it a second go at the skip. I'm making the same doing the same thing from last run, not hitting the light block and not being able to see them, but worked out in his favor. Kind of. Backup wasn't that bad. Ooh, that's a nasty one. This is why the saving comes in such handy, because one mistake and you're dead.
Let's play.
Yeah, as the Omega Lil puts it perfectly. Best thing to do here is just laugh it off and not get tilted about it. Oh, an accidental re-entry into 5 tower.
Let's go.
Nice. It's a anyway. 5-4 skip. Here we go again. Cruncho entering 8-1 with the solid lead. But Cruncho's World 8 is a dumpster fire, and this race can go either way. It's happened before, it might happen again. Ooh. Yeah. Cruncho will have to grab the fire flower from before, and hopefully RNG will be in his favor, unlike last time. If you do 8-1 optimally, the meteors will never get in your way. But if you're just slow enough, situations like that can happen, where it's really, really tight. Dodge a meteor sometimes, and what happened, but Cruncho makes it through the rest of 8-1 with little issue. Ooh. That was... It's just... all this game is just how to keep a cool head, dude. You can't panic, you just have to think your way out of sticky situations. Nexlation illustrates that beautifully, and went for the jump through the boo ring that I mentioned last run. Saves about 2 seconds. At least that method saves about 2 or 3 seconds. It's not huge, but it's gonna help cut into Cruncho's lead here. Especially if X can go for riskier stuff in World 8. Because Cruncho in general is playing it pretty safe. E2 is just one of those levels where a bunch of tiny things. Huh? Like the difference between the difference between a good player and top level isn't like one big strat that saves a minute. It's a bunch of tiny optimizations that save no more than half a second each. Comes with experience in running this game. So as Cruncho is about to head into 8-7, Nexlation is coming up to the part where Cruncho got hit. As you can see, because Nexlation was a bit faster, and he got the same meteor pattern, they were able to cleanly make it through those meteors. Not that it costed Cruncho much, it's just nice on Nex's end. That 8-1 was nearly flawless. Well done to them for getting that out. It was certainly needed.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Remember to hydrate, chat. Water is important. Cruncho playing the dismounts off of the bone coaster pretty safe. Something Cruncho also isn't doing is kicks. With pipes that are faced sideways and are against the ground, you can do a wall jump off of it actually, and it saves time because you gain more momentum. I believe they save around 0.3 each time you do them. In any percent, you have 2 easy opportunities to do it. Technically a 3rd and 5-3, but it's really, really hard. The wall kicks there, getting Cruncho for the 2nd time in a row. It happens. You just have to... From Cruncho's position, you just have to brush off every mistake you can. That 8-7 wasn't the best, but it'll do for now. I don't believe Cruncho is on PB pace. Maybe if he plays these last 2 levels without committing any major mistakes and it's a lucky bombless hit. It might be in the cards, but it's unlikely. Propeller grab there is deceptively tricky. If that slide looked awkward, it's not because Cruncho forgot to do it, it's because trying to ground pound the box and the ground at the same time, ground pound right in between the crack between the 2 of them, if you're too low to the ground, the game just doesn't let you ground pound. You just slide on the floor. It's pretty slow. Let's see how the screw skips go for Cruncho here. Cruncho not opting to do the 2nd skip. It saves around 4 or 5 seconds, but especially for someone like Cruncho, it's definitely not needed. And it's messing up the pipe kick I mentioned earlier. Cruncho going for the last skip, however, and nailing it. Impressive stuff. some people find the second skip harder, some people find the last skip harder. Personally think the last skip is the harder of the two, but it just depends on the person. Let's see if Cruncho attempts to bombless here. Might not attempt it. Okay, he is.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
The main thing behind bombless is Bowser Jr. bobs up and down, and the reason why it's so hard, you have to ground pound at the absolute lowest point so that Mario can completely fit. And that's what makes it a 1 or 2 frame trick.
It's a good time.
In some cases you can get 0 framed as well, where getting a hit is just impossible. It's very technical, and it would honestly get boring if I talked about it for too long. So, Cruncho can PB if his castle is perfect. It needs to be like nearly perfect though. He can't make more than 1 mistake. I don't think it's likely. I'd love to be proven wrong, but you can still get a pretty nice time here. If you finish multiple seconds off of your personal best, it's still a nice feeling to have. So, Nexlation will probably be going for that skip that Cruncho opted out of. Let's see here. Very nice. Nailed it. For the last skip, nailed it. So it appears Cruncho's taking 8 castle pretty safe, so PB isn't really possible anymore. I wasn't exactly looking at his of the stream the whole time. I was like, I kind of glanced and I saw what he was doing and assumed, yeah, he's not going as fast as it's optimal, but that's fine. He still has a pretty comfortable lead. Will we see bombless from the other half of the stream? Nex's end. Bombless it really does feel like a scam sometimes when you go through streaks of just, why doesn't this work? Ouch. It might not look like it, but learning when to ground pound the bombs is actually kind of important, and fortunately, as you see there, it led to Nexlation losing Propeller, which is... It's not the end of the world not to have it, especially if you know how to do Volzavault for the first Bowser fight, but it still sucks. And Cruncho saved Peach, so that's the end of his run. You see the ominous bridge thing. Like, scared me as a kid the first time I played the game, how I felt the controller rumble for each segment of the bridge that got constructed. Fortunately, the last Bowser fight was kind of a laughing stock. And I'm not sure what Kamek's doing here. What's Kamek doing? I'm not sure. Oh no, she made Big Bowser. I just referred to Kamek as a she. I don't actually know Kamek's pronouns. Anyway, ignoring the sod I put up there, the fireballs. Ooh, that was pretty sketchy. fireballs are hard. They take a lot of getting used to. The timing isn't precise, but it is awkward. If you mess up, you have to be even more precise to compensate. Like if a fireball goes a little bit low or a little bit high, but it still breaks the wall, it's weird. You have to think it through and compensate. Like, oh, I'm gonna jump earlier, so the fireball will be lower, or here, so it's higher. Just gotta think it through. So finishing in 26:26, very impressive. Only 14 seconds off of its personal best. Very nice run from him. What were the times in the first race? Nexlation had a 25:50 and Cruncho had like a 28. So does Nexlation know the triple jump storage? You know that you can double jump at the end of the corridor and then leash the triple jump height. That they might have forgotten. No. The vault is a pretty obscure strat, but if you know it, it's really useful. Anyway, more importantly, the Bowser fight is no longer a laughing stock if you don't have propeller. Cruel twist of fate, almost. But, you know, 27, not bad. I'm not sure why they forgot to stop the timer, but I feel like that was a pretty good time. I'd be proud of it. Better than Cruncho's first run. Kamek, what are you doing? I'm not sure what Kamek's doing here. No way she does. No way Kamek does the exact same thing that happened to Cruncho. No way. Okay, all jokes aside, see how the fireballs go for Nexlation here. These two look good. You need a, for normal people, you need a bare minimum of 7 fireballs to hit the wall. There's known way you can do it with 6, but it's TAS only and only saves half a second. It is insanely hard for a human to do. More importantly, the escape, the platforms. Smooth so far. I'm good. Small mistake there by skidding on that one, but it's fine. Fair enough. 29:20. Okay. I'm going to take a I'm gonna take like a minute break because I need to like get water. I ran out of water. Please stay hydrated. Alright, I have returned. Yes, yes, Big Cheese, Kamek forgot the script. Nexlation forgot the script apparently too, because they were supposed to get a new world record of 2207.2. They forgot the script too, so don't worry. Copying that file because having a save file that starts at 5 tower is pretty useless. Also, you should always keep a spare file. Already had the opening cutscene play, so anytime you finish your run, you can just copy it over and you're good. Another thing is, if you let the credits play out completely, then the game auto-saves, and you have to copy the file over in that instance as well. Now this is interesting. Now that Cruncho has won the second match, they've each taken blows and given blows, but who's gonna prevail? Who's gonna be on top? Does chat have any predictions? I completely forgot I can mark the winner. My apologies. So okay, they have made a race room. We're in. Appears that Cruncho has not readied up yet, but it's okay. Should ready up any second now. So we'll just wait. Patience is virtue in this day and age.
Here we go.
Okay, the race time has started. So will appear on the stream probably in about 30 seconds or so. Maybe less. Not sure by how much it's delayed on my end. Like, it's somewhere around there from what I've seen. I have started from race time, so it will appear on here any second. A bit more drama in this match than the other two. Because, like I said earlier, either one of these runners can win it. Despite having their separated by 45 seconds, they're not too far apart in skill level. Both know what they're doing. Goomba bounce there from Cruncho messed him up a little bit. Hence the bonk on the staircase, but too bad. Only a second, maybe. That. A little more than a second, actually. So the 1-2 here, both of the runners are actually going for similar strats. It's just X is taking better advantage of the tilting platforms. It'll save them a bit more time over Cruncho. Bonk there, costing Cruncho a little bit more. Leading time early, but as we saw from the last run, still can come back. Anything is possible. Nothing noteworthy in 1-3 until about after the checkpoint, where the pipe is. Cruncho lost a couple seconds last run. It's the same mistake, but a faster backup. That was super sketchy. Cruncho almost walked off and got hit by that piranha. That would have cost him a lot of time, but it survives. That's always good. Someone who's not supposed to follow the script is Toad. If he just didn't follow the script, like the game says, then we'd be able to go about 30 seconds faster. I love it, but apparently Toad doesn't, so... Whatever, us speedrunners have to stick with the crap the game gives us. You know? If Toad didn't follow the script, and Kamek did, then, you know, we'd be all good. So, about 8 seconds? 8 or 9, maybe? Rates the runners.
Let's go.
See how 5-1 goes. And if both of the runners will get star grab and the water skip, shitty wheel skip rather. Let's try. Water skip is the... I'll talk about it in a moment. Ouch. Cruncho, this is the star. Unfortunate. But what Nexlation did right there is what we call water skip. It's a slightly more advanced way of maneuvering the water. You jump out early in between those two piranha plants. Cruncho goes for it as well. He just spun early, and unfortunately, that's gonna spell his demise. This. Now Cruncho has to do the very. For some reason, it's a lot more awkward with Big Mario than it is with Small Mario. That somewhat awkward up there from the water. No. 5-1 is just a very awkward level to mess up. There's not a whole lot you can do if you make a mistake. So that lost Cruncho a lot. So Nexlation's going to take a pretty commanding lead for 5-3, all 3 runs. Most runners with the mid-25 personal best tend to do. So Cruncho might have to do 5-3 again, like he had to the first run, to get the propeller back. And he doesn't get the propeller first try, he's in a world of hurt. That or he might have to die intentionally to get the propeller again, but I don't think that would be faster. Might be, but not by much. Decent 5-3 from Nexlation. Not perfect, but pretty decent. Don't have to worry about it because Cruncho does get the propeller. Big. You're right, the jump from the water as Big Mario might actually be impossible. No. I'll ask someone who's more experienced with running no power-ups. Low percent, as we call it, but whatever. This isn't the place to discuss the inaccuracy of category names. So, Nexlation's probably gonna go for the second fastest cycle again. Because you have an extremely generous window to make the second cycle. You have from now until all the way until now, and even earlier to like make it through there. Cruncho's 5-3, not the best, but like I've said before, making it through is better than just risking it and doing something dumb because of it. So Nexlation is done with the Gi fight. We'll move on to 5-4. I'll probably save again, but we'll see. We'll see. hold on a second. I have to do something. I'll be right. Apologies. So it appears Cruncho got the 5-4-6 cycle, the second fastest, so that's nice. Don't have any disastrous 5 towers so far this run. That's good. Going for the compounding that POW block earlier in the level is slower by like a second, but is a lot safer, and Nexlation making the possibly risky move to skip it. It's not hard for top level runners, but it's a bit more tricky when you're in the 25 range. Cruncho opting to save, despite how far he's behind. It seems he's more concerned with just making it through. We don't have time to save Toad. It's sad that someone as innocent as him has to be kidnapped in the name of time save. But I mean, you know, it could be the same thing behind like the save the animals in Super Metroid, you know, where that theory out there where the animals are actually aliens, and same as saving the animals, like actually the aliens to other places. So you never know. Toad could be a virus. Yeah, he would just get caught again anyway. It's more useless than Peach. At least Peach writes letters and sends us 1-ups that far away, while Toad's like is nothing. Only helps you if you rescue him. For the... It's interesting, to me at least, when a mistake happens 3 times in a row. And Cruncho opting for jumping through that last bit, the boomerang there, save him much, but it looks cool. It did work out. Sometimes save is better than none. Oh no! Ooh, that's a nasty death to take. Nexlation's still gonna be in the lead here, but taking that death hurt a lot. Triple jump can just fail because you jump too early or too late, or you don't hold 2 for long enough, or don't spin correctly. There are times where it fails when it shouldn't, and it works when it shouldn't, you know? It's just how it works. No one will fully understand this game. I'd say his lead is about half now.
Oh yeah, Mario time. Yeah.
It seems, at least on my end, the audio of Nexlation's stream is delayed. Anyone else in chat tell me if you have that issue of Nexlation's audio being delayed. If that is the case, I'll switch the audio over to Cruncho.
Oh no.
Ouch. Now they're almost even.
Let's go.
Any hit you take here is will cost you. Because with Propeller, at least you're alive. Now because they're so close, Nexlation has to fight to stay ahead here. And Cruncho taking the mushroom for safety did work out in his favor, because otherwise he would have died. Yeah, the star grabs are from both runners. Very smooth from Nexlation. And Cruncho gets the star with not much trouble. I didn't look at it, but it didn't look like he struggled with it much. Big reason you want to stay small Mario for most of this level is, as you can see, it's a bit of a struggle as Big Mario. Because of the low ceiling, usually Mario's jumps can be extended further.
This way.
Game wouldn't... Oh, okay, I get you. The game wouldn't let you crouch. Also, it doesn't seem like their audio is being delayed anymore, so that's good.
Let's go.
And Cruncho opts to take the Fire Flower. Normally, you would start the level as Small Mario and get a mushroom there, but Fire Flower is just in case Cruncho does one of the dismounts incorrectly and gets hit because of it. Nice little safety measure. You get hit on the last one in particular. That's really bad because you have to open your inventory to get a mushroom, which is even slower. We have 3 mushrooms for the whole run because the piranha gives us 3. And getting the pipe kick, very nice. Also even a couple tons over Cruncho. Doesn't go for them. Could still go either way, especially if one of them fails to do, if one of them dies to one of the corkscrew skips in airship. Cruncho opting not to do the wall kicks. What makes it a bit tricky, especially for beginners, is if you don't do the normally you do 2 wall kicks, one on the right and then one on the left. If you don't do the one on the left correctly, you just end up falling short of the wall, which is slow, so I don't blame Cruncho at all. So both of these runners are using 16 by 9, so neither of them get to take advantage of that cutscene that plays after 8-7 being 2 seconds faster when you're playing on 4x3. Let's see how this airship goes. This is going to be a race. To the very end. I think Nexlation did fail those jumps on the cannonballs both runs, and as you can see here, Cruncho just opts not to do that. Smoking is a second, so Nexlation's going to try and gain every bit they can. Very nice. Will Cruncho go for the second skip? Does. That's good. It stinks for Nexlation though, because losing propeller there is bad. Now it would cost way too much to go to the coin ring before. Now they're basically synced. They grabbed the checkpoint at the exact same time. Cruncho missing that skip again isn't helping.
It's a go time. Wahoo!